Guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. Yesterday was Madeline Soto's 14th birthday. And if she was here, she would have been celebrating and I'm sure having a wonderful celebration with all of her friends, and unfortunately her life was cut very short almost a year ago. It's just so hard to believe it's been a year. Well, this week it's been a year. I did attend it was a very wonderful celebration for her, and I did take some video and some other things, so I'm just going to use this opportunity to honor and remember Maddie. I was able to speak with some of her friends that were there, and I just wanted to learn more about the kind of person that Madeline was. And thankfully, we're getting to learn about this beautiful girl that was taken from this earth far too soon.
We're here today to remember who Maddie was. Maddie had been inclined toward music and arts since she was a child. We've all seen the videos of her dancing and running around, lighting every room that she was in, and lighting the life of those around her. Maddie even danced to salsa music, which was celebrating her Hispanic heritage. She loved to sing, so when in middle school, she joined the chorus. She also showed interest in musical instruments. She would journal, she would draw, she would play table games and video games. She loved to talk. She loved to text. And she loved to make TikTok videos with her friends. She was also part of the volleyball team and all the activities that went along with that. Maddie would have turned 14 years old today. She was approaching her adolescence, and as expected, she loved skincare and makeup and fashion. She was so beautiful. She had big, expressive blue eyes, and she had long blonde locks of hair. She was playful. She loved joking around. She loved playing pranks on people. Her sense of humor and her phrases were unique to her. Maddie also loved animals. When she would visit farms, she would hold them with such gentle, tender care. But then she'd let them down and chase them around and be playful as well. Amongst the careers that she showed interest in was becoming a veterinarian, and she wanted to rescue animals. She was appreciative of nature and water, and I heard today that fishing was one of her hobbies. Her last picture can attest to her love for nature and water, as we remember her dancing in the sunset while waving her tassel in the air. She was full of life, and she was trying to find her way. She was looking for her own personal identity, as most teenagers do. She even had a fake nose piercing that she would wear. She was just trying to find her place. She would steal her friends' hair scrunchies, and so at her late memorial, there were dozens of these scrunchies that were attached to the fence. And we were able to find out the reason was her friends when they came to visit. That was their memory of her, always stealing their scrunchies, and so they left them there. So you could see those there. Those friends brought them as a sign of love and remembrance. They also brought many beaded bracelets. and a picture of a turtle, because she loved turtles as well. Many Stitch figures were there, of course, because she loved Lilo and Stitch, and especially all the stuffed animals. As you can see, we have a sampling of what was at her memorial. This is only about 20% of the stuffed animals that were left for her in love. Maddie will forever live in our hearts. She will never be forgotten. Her legacy is taking form through love, care, and protection of children. So how do we deal with this loss, the loss of this life? If we turn to the scriptures, we find there was a man who was a prophet in the Bible, so he was very faithful. His name was Habakkuk. And he was very faithful, and although he had a lot of faith in God, he questioned God about justice. He said to God, "How long must I call for help, but you do not hear? How long must I ask for help from violence, but you do not intervene?" Further, Habakkuk says, "Therefore the law is paralyzed, and justice never carried out." But God answered him and said, "Look among the nations and pay attention. Stare in amazement and be astounded, for I am going to do something in your days that you would not believe even if you were told." Habakkuk wrestled with these questions, and he provided a bracing and encouraging example of how to trust God in the midst of difficult times, those that we may not fully understand. We're sure that true justice can come only from God. In the scriptures, we're promised that our future hope lies with him when we read in Revelation, "And God himself will be with mankind, and he will wipe out every tear from their eyes, and death will be no more, neither will mourning, nor outcry, nor pain be any more. The former things have passed away." I'd like now to introduce a friend of Maddie's to read Maddie's poem.
Maddie's poem, dedicated to Maddie, written by I.S. You were pretty, you were kind, you were everything I liked. I couldn't be sad around you, even if I tried. You were the sun, society is the moon. If you told us, we all would have believed you. I miss you so much, but I feel okay knowing you're doing fine up above. I'll try not to cry, I'll try not to shed, but I'll always be lucky you were my friend. I'd like to introduce Beth Bendel with a musical tribute for Maddie.
Hello everybody, my name is Beth Vandal, and thank you guys for coming out here today. This is my cover of Dancing in the Sky. We chose to sing for Maddie today. Tell me, what does it look like in heaven? Is it peaceful? Is it free like they say? Does the sun shine brighter there? Have your fears and your pain gone away? 'Cause here on earth feels like everything good is missing since you left. And here on earth everything's different. There's an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky. I hope you're singing with the angels choir. And I hope the angels know what they have. I bet it's so nice, heaven sent you right. So still will love him. All your days filled with music and tell me, are you happy? Are you? 'Cause here on earth everything's different since you left. Here on earth everything's changing. There's an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky. I hope you're singing with the angels high. And I hope your angels know what they have. I bet it's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. Ooh, yeah. I hope you're dancing in the sky. I hope the angels in the choir, and I hope the angels know what they have. I bet it's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. Since you arrived. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much for that beautiful song. Greetings, everyone. As community advocates, oftentimes we do not know those who have been assisted or advocated for. We only know of their need for support and right to justice. While justice may be linked to a set of judicial proceedings and expected outcomes, dignity, love, and care aren't anchored to names or relationships. Justice means understanding how these tragic losses came to be, and what can we do to bring these disparities to a decline. A high sense of justice is paired with honoring individuals like Maddie while freeing them from forever being regarded by case details. Presently, Maddie became the patron of many children out there. We acknowledge the ultimate sacrifice she paid, leading to many sets of corrective actions, elevating her above all else. This is the heart of advocacy, and the backbone of it formed by you all, and the sense of diligence, commitment, and moral compass you embody by standing in support of her. I invite you to participate in generating solutions to create safe environmental conditions leading to life preservation of our kids. Thank you for lending your voice not only to Maddie, but all children who do not have anyone representing them. The many losses we have been experiencing at a continuum tells us the tools, policies, and programs we have are inadequate to the challenge we face. Children have the right to a dignified life, care, and protections, not only by parents and those surrounding them, but also from child protection agencies and lawmakers. We must be mindful of the dangerous message the lack of enforcement and consequences sends to our communities as it encourages neglect and abuse. I'd like to thank those involved on Maddie's legislative project. We will not be complicit in the grave circumstances affecting our kids. Thus, revisions are critical to major improvements as they realign and strengthen our agency structures, driving much needed change. Much could be said about case details leading to revictimization. Maddie's name should be associated to her beautiful legacy and the many changes and projects stemming from her service to our community. Maddie's name should not be associated with names floating across headlines that only serve to sully her memory and only dishonor those re-victimizing her. We must all remember Maddie as a figure of heavenly survivorship whose image evokes strength, courage, and the good we are capable of when standing together, proving ourselves ready to stand in defense of the innocent. Through Maddie's legacy, we are educating ourselves in understanding that addressing serious crimes as entertainment material, while monetizing in doing so, as opposed to the public health crisis it truly is, violates the respect and rights individuals like Maddie deserve. More so when realizing there are surviving children linked to these angels, friends, best friends, school friends, and family. Oftentimes, within the psychological sciences, these surviving children are regarded as invisible victims of violence as they experience secondary effects of trauma, though indirectly, but dangerously close to them. It's been a long year since we met, and much has been learned through Maddie's case, none of which we were prepared for, and could have not raised awareness of it if it wasn't for her. Maddie's legacy is ever significant, and so should be our commitment. Being candid, I never thought I'd be advocating for a case as robust and complex like Maddie's and what followed shortly thereafter. As a psychologist, I understand the ripple effect that stems from these types of occurrences, where others feel encouraged to come forward in seeking for help and speaking up. You are not alone in this. We see you. We are here for you. I'd like to take a moment to publicly acknowledge the generosity and fine labor of our lead researcher and colleague, Dr. Alexandra Garcia, whose contribution to Maddie's legislative project cannot be properly assessed. Contributions from Dee Patel, reference material from Amos Giora's research findings when it comes to CSAN, Quentin Morris, a local executive strategist and vision architect, and other individuals who will remain anonymous for now. Just like Maddie, there are one too many kids whose sense of safety, innocence, and right to dignity had been shattered. Children who do not want to go back to school. I invite you to expand upon the following on your platforms. How did we get here? What was the etiology of Maddie's abrupt departure? How can our parents, school faculty, and other personnel identify signs of early and persistent neglect and abuse? Where are these parents and children supposed to go? They do not want to go to a child advocacy center, as they need to first talk to law enforcement or the Department of Children and Families first to be able to assess support. Where can Maddie have gone to seek for help? Have you ever asked yourself about that? Do we educate our children respecting this? Nonprofits are shamelessly unfunded. Parents and children who are actively seeking for support shouldn't need a referral to gain access to support through a CAG center, as they firstly need support, encouragement, and it should never be denied. The current referral model isn't considering the most debilitating factor associated with abuse, which is fear. We must understand these parents and children are in distress and in desperate need. The etiology of trauma delves into the many layers of complexity behind the action of seeking for help. Thus, parents and children seeking for help must have access to support first to be stabilized, reassured, oriented, and gain courage to open up. Moreover, there have been many Florida reports showing parents refrain from seeking for help for themselves and their children, as they fear that the Department of Children and Families will remove their children from their care. We must continue to educate our citizens. Appropriately, children who are to be removed from kinship caregivers should never be placed in harm's way. There must be a proactive transitional program emphasizing on the establishment of emotional proximity and trust with their parents prior to reunification, paired with a comprehensive investigation to ensure they will be reintegrated into a thriving and safe home environment. Dalton Miller's case painfully exemplified the need for these revisions. When expanding upon the DCF reporting guidelines, accepting reports of suspected abuse from medical facilities should never be on discretionary basis, but an obligation. Our medical personnel are proficient in the respective areas when it comes to identifying neglect, abuse, and violence. The rejection of such reports from the agency have resulted in loss of precious lives in the absence of due diligence. We desperately need an independent agency for case continuity, ensuring these cases have been properly addressed. Please do not feel discouraged when it comes to reporting. How many times, if ever, those who notice Maddie's odd behaviors reported her? If you see something, say something. Be the voice of those who had been silenced or are too frightened to say something. It shouldn't take a death to feel compelled in caring, protecting, and reporting. Where are these parents and children supposed to go? In terms of Maddie's bench and plaque, we are close to our goal, which is $1,125 that we must pay the City of St. Cloud Parks and Recreation using Maddie's T-shirts fund to cover these expenses. St. Cloud Mayor sent us a letter supporting the bench initiative, which officially be on this very park. We will share the letter at the end of the remarks. Our long-term goals involve the state's first Children's Memorial Museum to honor the lives of the thousands of children who had died in the hands of violence, a safe house for abused children and parents, and other challenging legislative asks. Someone once told me, this is a marathon, not a sprint. I ask you today to keep working with us and be the voice. Thank you all for your undivided attention while addressing Maddie's yearly report. Much love sent you guys this way.
On behalf of the St. Cloud Police Department and every member of the city, we're heartbroken over this. This is Maddie was taken away from us way too soon. These things do happen. Our law enforcement partners work tirelessly to investigate these things. To not discuss the role of what we were involved in, the St. Cloud Police Department had a role in this investigation, and we're proud to bring this person to justice. So, without speaking too much more on that, I'd like to read the letter from our mayor, Chris Robertson. Dear friends of Maddie Soto, the Central Florida community was shocked and saddened 1 year ago by the loss of a beautiful young girl known by many as Maddie. Although she was not personally known to me, or by many, may not have known many of you, Maddie's story serves as an unfortunate reminder that abuse and violence against children may come from the hands that are entrusted with loving them the most. This remembrance service for Maddie is a caring and loving way to celebrate her life, along with the lives of all children who have shared a similar fate as hers. Our community shall always strive to be a safe, loving, and nurturing environment for all children, never forgetting those children who have experienced horrific acts of violence. The children in our community shall forever feel unconditional support, and their voices will always be heard. It warms my heart that so many have placed great importance on this issue and have pledged to protect the defenseless children of our community. I fully support all efforts in creating a remembrance bench bearing the name of Maddie, honoring all children who have been neglected or abused. Sincerely, Christopher Robertson, Mayor, City of St. Cloud, dated February 22nd, 2025. Thank you.
It was a beautiful celebration and service for Maddie, and I'm really glad I was able to attend. And it was definitely a beautiful day. If you would like to purchase a shirt to support Maddie, obviously, and more so to contribute to the fund for the bench, it's going to be in St. Cloud. I will include that information in the information of this video. You can reach out to the team, Jenny and Nancy. They will definitely be able to take care of you that way. And they also are still accepting locks if you would like to mail a lock. So I'll include that information as well. All right, guys, I hope you have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.